Welcome to Sports Bios, the podcast where we delve into the fascinating lives of athletic legends, stripping away the veneer of myth and revealing the complex, often tumultuous journeys that forged their greatness. Today, we embark on a captivating exploration of one of baseball's most iconic and enigmatic figures, Tyrus Raymond Cobb, known to the world as Ty Cobb. As we immerse ourselves in the life of this sports titan, you'll discover a man whose on-field accomplishments were matched only by the intensity of his off-field persona, a true original whose legacy continues to captivate and confound us to this day. Born on December 18, 1886, in Narrows, Georgia, Ty Cobb entered the world in an era marked by Reconstruction's lingering shadows and the burgeoning industrialization of America. The rural landscape of his childhood was dotted with rolling hills, vast farmlands, and the occasional rustic town, a setting that would instill in him a deep appreciation for the simplicity of country life. His early life was a tapestry woven from threads of rural simplicity, familial tragedy, and an unyielding ambition that would soon propel him to unparalleled heights in the baseball world. The Cobb family, with its roots deep in the Georgia soil, was not immune to the hardships of their time. Ty's father, William Herschel Cobb, was a school administrator and state senator whose political ambitions often found him at odds with the status quo, a trait that would later manifest in his son's unapologetic competitiveness on the diamond. The elder Cobb's passion for education and his commitment to public service were values that he imparted to his children, including Ty, who would come to understand the importance of perseverance and dedication in the face of adversity. Ty Cobb's childhood was marked by a mix of rustic innocence and familial turmoil. His mother, Amanda Chitwood Cobb, was the bedrock of the family, providing stability amidst the whirlwind of her husband's political pursuits and the eventual tragedy that would befall them. The youngest of three children, Ty grew up with an innate sense of competition, fostered by his siblings and the rugged environment of rural Georgia. This early life, filled with exploration of the outdoors and makeshift games of ball, laid the foundation for a physical prowess and competitive drive that would soon make him a legend. The late 19th century was a time of great change in America, with the old agrarian South giving way to industrialization and urbanization. This period of upheaval had a profound impact on Cobb's worldview, instilling in him a strong work ethic and an appreciation for the simplicity of rural life, values that he would carry with him throughout his career. Consider, if you will, the rustic ball fields of Cobb's childhood, where makeshift games were played with sticks, rocks, and any other materials that could be fashioned into a makeshift bat and ball. It was here, in these informal contests, that Cobb developed the ferocious competitiveness and unwavering dedication to his craft that would define his career. The sounds of laughter, the smell of freshly cut grass, and the feel of the sun beating down on his face as he played are all sensory details that transport us back to a bygone era, one in which the love of the game was pure and unadulterated. The death of his father under mysterious circumstances, when Ty was just 19, would prove to be a pivotal moment in his life, one that would fuel both his anger and his ambition. This event, coupled with the economic struggles of his family, set Cobb on a path where baseball became not just a passion, but a means of survival and a way to secure his family's future. Cobb's introduction to professional baseball was swift and decisive. At 18, he began playing for the Augusta Tourists in the South Atlantic League, marking the beginning of an ascent that would soon make him a household name. His early years in baseball were a crucible, testing not just his physical abilities, but his mental toughness and resilience. It was during this period that Cobb developed the intense focus and unwavering dedication to his craft that would define his career. As we explore the nascent stages of Ty Cobb's life, it becomes evident that the man who would come to be known as the Georgia Peach was forged in the fire of adversity, his character tempered by the trials of his early years. His story is one of unrelenting drive, of a will to succeed that transcended mere talent, speaking to something deeper and more profound about the human spirit. It is here, in the crucible of his youth, that we find the seeds of greatness, the foundation upon which a legend would be built. The complexities of his personality, the ferocity of his competitiveness, and the unwavering commitment to his family all coalesced to form a rich tapestry, one that invites us to explore the depths of his character and the enduring legacy he left on the game of baseball. As Ty Cobb's professional career continued to gain momentum, he became an integral part of the Detroit Tigers, joining the team in 1905 and swiftly establishing himself as one of the most formidable players in the league. His rookie season was nothing short of spectacular, with a batting average of .240, a respectable start for a young player in the major leagues. However, it was his subsequent seasons that truly showcased his prowess, as he began to dominate the game with his lightning-fast speed, razor-sharp instincts, and an unyielding competitive spirit. One of the defining moments of Cobb's career came on September 19, 1907, when he hit a home run off Jack Chesbro of the New York Highlanders, securing a 5-3 victory for the Tigers. This moment not only highlighted his burgeoning talent, but also marked the beginning of a storied rivalry with the Highlanders, which would become a hallmark of Cobb's career. The crack of the bat, the roar of the crowd, and the sight of Cobb rounding the bases, his cap flying off his head, are etched in the annals of baseball history. As the first reflect on that moment, I am reminded of the words of the great poet, Walt Whitman, who once wrote, "Do the first contradict myself? Very well, then I contradict myself." For Cobb, this home run was a declaration of his arrival, a statement that he would not be silenced or defeated. His on-field exploits were matched only by his intense personality, as he earned a reputation for being fiercely competitive and uncompromising in his pursuit of excellence. Cobb's eyes would burn with an inner fire, his jaw set in determination, as he faced each pitch with a singular focus. His teammates would often remark on his ability to will himself to victory, to impose his will on the game itself. And yet, this unyielding drive was not without its costs. Cobb's relationships with his contemporaries were complex and multifaceted, reflecting both the camaraderie and the cutthroat nature of professional sports during this era. His friendship with fellow player Sam Crawford, for instance, was built on mutual respect and a shared passion for the game, as they would often engage in lively debates about strategy and technique. On the other hand, his rivalry with Nap Lajoie, the legendary second baseman of the Cleveland Nabs, was marked by intense competition and a deep-seated desire to outdo one another. The two men would often exchange heated words, their faces red with passion, as they battled for supremacy on the field. And yet, despite these tensions, Cobb and Lajoie maintained a begrudging respect for one another, each pushing the other to new heights of excellence. As Cobb's star continued to rise, he found himself at the forefront of a changing game, one that was increasingly driven by personalities, rivalries, and the emerging cult of celebrity. His on-field exploits were matched only by his ability to captivate the imagination of the public, as he became a household name and a symbol of American sporting excellence. The press of the time often portrayed him as a larger-than-life figure, with his rugged individualism and unwavering dedication to his craft resonating deeply with the American people. Cobb's face would appear on billboards, his name would be emblazoned across newspaper headlines, and his exploits would be recounted in awestruck tones by fans and sports writers alike. In 1910, Cobb signed a contract with the Detroit Tigers that would pay him $9,000 per year, making him one of the highest-paid players in the game. This lucrative deal not only reflected his status as a superstar, but also marked a significant shift in the economic landscape of professional sports, as players began to demand greater compensation for their talents. Cobb's business acumen and negotiating skills were ahead of their time, as he carefully managed his finances and invested wisely, securing his financial future both on and off the field. As the first consider this moment, I am reminded of the words of the great industrialist, Andrew Carnegie, who once said, "The way to become rich is to put all your eggs in one basket and then watch that basket." Cobb's decision to prioritize his financial security would prove prescient, as he navigated the complexities of a rapidly changing sports landscape. The 1911 season saw Cobb hit .419, a feat that would stand as one of the highest single-season batting averages in Major League history. This achievement was all the more remarkable given the context of the time, with the pitching-dominated era of baseball making it increasingly difficult for hitters to excel. Cobb's success was a testament to his tireless work ethic and his ability to adapt to changing circumstances as he continued to evolve as a player and push himself to new heights. As the first reflect on this achievement, I am struck by the words of the great philosopher Friedrich Nietzsche, who once wrote, "You must have chaos within you to give birth to a dancing star." For Cobb, this season was a manifestation of his inner drive, a declaration that he would not be bound by the limitations of others. The twilight years of Ty Cobb's illustrious career, a time when the fiery passion that once drove him to greatness began to simmer, yet still burned bright enough to leave an indelible mark on the game. As he earned his 12th batting title in 1919 with a remarkable .384 average, the baseball world was reminded of his unwavering dedication to excellence. The years that followed, however, would see a gradual decline in his playing time and production, a poignant reminder that even the greatest among us are not immune to the ravages of time. His foray into the oil industry, for instance, was a resounding success, demonstrating that the same cunning and competitive drive that had served him so well on the diamond could be adapted to the cutthroat world of commerce. And yet, despite his newfound success in the business realm, Cobb's heart remained firmly rooted in the game he loved. His stint as a special instructor for the Detroit Tigers, where he helped shape the skills of young players, was a testament to his enduring passion for baseball. But as the years went by, Cobb became increasingly reclusive, preferring the quiet comforts of his Georgia home to the harsh glare of the public eye. It was as if he had grown weary of the adoration and scrutiny that had long accompanied him, seeking instead a sense of peace and solitude that had eluded him throughout his playing career. And yet, despite this withdrawal from the spotlight, Cobb's connection to the game remained strong, a bond that would ultimately lead to his election into the National Baseball Hall of Fame in 1936, with an astonishing 98.2% of the vote. That moment, my friends, was a watershed in the annals of baseball history, a testament to the enduring legacy of a man who had left an indelible mark on the game. As the first reflect on Cobb's life and career, I am reminded of the words of the great literary critic Matthew Arnold, who once wrote, "The greatest glory in living lies not in never falling, but in rising every time we fall." Ty Cobb, with all his flaws and frailties, was a living embodiment of that maxim, a man who had faced countless challenges and setbacks throughout his life, yet continued to rise, to adapt, and to overcome. As the years went by, however, Cobb's health began to decline, a slow and inexorable march towards mortality that would ultimately claim him on July 17, 1961, at the age of 74. The outpouring of tributes that followed his passing was a poignant reminder of the impact he had had on the game, with former teammates and opponents alike paying their respects to a man who had been, in the words of one sports writer, a marvel. A man who could hit and field and run with the best of them, and yet he was more than that. He was a leader, a competitor, and a winner. His unwavering dedication to his craft, his unrelenting passion for competition, and his commitment to excellence are qualities that can inspire anyone, regardless of their profession or pursuit. As Branch Rickey, the great baseball executive, once said, Cobb was a man who could hit and field and run with the best of them, and yet he was more than that. He was a leader, a competitor, and a winner. Those words, my friends, capture the essence of Ty Cobb's enduring legacy. A legacy that continues to inspire and captivate us to this day. It is a lesson that transcends the boundaries of sport, a reminder that our lives are not merely our own, but are intertwined with the lives of those who come after us. As the first often say, the greatest glory in living lies not in never falling, but in rising every time we fall. Ty Cobb, with all his flaws and frailties, was a testament to that maxim, a man who had faced countless challenges and setbacks throughout his life, yet continued to rise, to adapt, and to overcome. That's all for today's Sports Bios. Remember to like, share, and subscribe. And until next time, I'm Howard Closewell reminding you to keep shooting for your goals.